If you struggle with binge eating, this video is going to be for you. Because inside of this video, I'm gonna tell you my entire story of how I got rid of my binge eating, but at the same time, how it actually helped me to get so consistent. Because let's be honest, without binge eating, I could have never gotten to the place where I am right now, where I've lost 18 pounds of fat body weight, whatever, right? I lost the weight in like the last 3 months. And without binge eating, I would have never got fat. And without getting fat, I would have never even stepped into getting closer to my potential physique. I would have just stayed stuck, comfortable where I was. Because that's exactly what I was doing the year before. The year before, I did not go to the gym. I had gotten very, very, very complacent in life. But I remember one day, and this was like a month or 2 months into binge eating, like a pig every single night, getting out of my room, going into the kitchen, taking out my favorite junk foods, coming back into my room, just, watching a movie. And I enjoyed it. I'm going to be honest, I enjoyed it very much at the time. It was a very enjoyable activity. But 2 months into this activity, one day, I go into a clothing store to buy me some new clothes. Step out of the room, my cave, And I go inside of the closet room to change my clothes, try out some new clothes. I knew that I had gained weight, I could feel it, but I wasn't confronting it at all. I was just hiding myself in baggy clothes. And what I would also do when it was like summertime, was about to be summertime, was springtime, I would just wrap around like a piece of like a hoodie or something, like wrap it around my waist, something like that, just to hide my belly because I was ashamed of it subconsciously. And when I went inside of that closet room and I had to confront myself and look at myself for the first time truly inside of those bright lights, I was completely blown away. I was very, very shocked. Because I took a glance at my physique and there was just one sentence that came to my mind. One sentence only. And it was, how did I do this to myself? How did I let myself become like this? The 13-year-old version of me, he wanted to look like Cristiano Ronaldo. He wanted to become a footballer. At the least, I could have looked a little bit better than this. I could have looked skinny fat. I looked overweight, and I was completely overweight in that picture. I'll probably put it up here and there sometimes. Maybe you can see it, but this video is going to be very unfiltered, There's going to be very few cuts. But that moment was the thing that fueled me to start this journey again. Without that moment, I would have never started this journey again. I would have stayed stuck being inside of my room, binge eating still to this day, and I would have been even more fatter than I was back then if I hadn't had that moment. And now that I think about it, why I had gotten into binge eating in the first place, it was because of sadness and making food an outlet, using it as a cope. There's many subconscious things that I did in order to make food seem more desirable to me, to make it an outlet for myself, something that I can cope with, something that can make me feel important again. Because I was in a situation where I was dissatisfied with my life completely. And there's so many wrong mindsets, but the number one thing that destroyed my physique when it came to food was seeing food and junk food as a vice, right? Seeing it as an only vice thing. That's what I told myself. I told myself, this is my only vice. I don't have any other vices. I don't smoke. I don't do anything else, I don't talk to girls. I don't do anything. This is my only vice. It's junk food. And that was a big mistake. Seeing food as a vice. But it was all God's plan. At the end of the day, it was all God's plan. That's what I understand. If you're someone who still does that, please understand that there's so many more ways. Like, I truly feel so much more fulfilled now that I'm on this journey to getting my first ever six-pack. I've never had a six-pack ever in my life. That's truly sad for me, man. That's truly sad. I feel like a loser literally saying that. And I don't want to put that on the internet for somebody to watch and think, this guy's a loser, He's trained for so many years. He hasn't got a six-pack yet. But I know that there's a lot of people in my position. And one thing that I want to do is to motivate you to not give up. Never. Because I failed so many times. I've failed so many times when it comes to fat loss. I've tried every single method. After I had that click inside of my head, after the closet room, I tried to go on all of these crash diets. I went on the carnivore diet. I did some form of ketogenic diet. I looked at all these estrogenics. I looked into biohacking. All the wrong things. I did 1200. I've done 1200 calories, per day, literally, whilst I was in Thailand training like a fighter. I was doing an hour of intense cardio every single day. Sleep was shit, and so many more methods that come to mind now that I think about it. 20k steps, doing 45 minutes of cardio on top of that, doing home kettlebell kind of dumbbell workouts at the same time. I followed so many plans from so many people that I watched on Instagram, on YouTube. And because they were all so extreme and they all promised me to get the results fast, and because I myself, I take personal responsibility, I myself was so obsessed with getting the results fast, I just lengthened the process. Because I would do the cardio, and then I would come back home, I would get hungry, and I would binge eat. But taking the first step and getting away out of the comfort zone that you're in right now is the hardest step that you're ever going to take, my friend. I'm telling you. Because it's not easy to get out of that position that you're in. It's easy to say. It's easy to tell yourself, yeah, I'm okay where I am. I don't have a problem with having this physique that I have. You can probably look down and look at your belly. You can just sit there and tell yourself, yeah, I'm okay with this. I don't want a six-pack. I don't want a healthy body. You can still enjoy all the meals that you want every single day. But let me tell you one thing from experience. It will never fulfill you. You will never become fulfilled. Ever. From food. Because the binge eating that I am talking about, it's not about the taste of the food. It's not about the sugar. It's not about anything. You're filling up a void, a black hole inside of your stomach. And you can probably relate to this, where you keep eating and eating, and you're still hungry. You keep eating this. You eat 2 apples, 3 apples, all these fruits. Doesn't matter if it's fruits. Doesn't matter if it's chocolate. Doesn't matter if it's a burger. It doesn't matter if it's fries. You keep eating and eating, and you're not satiated. And it's so hard to describe to a person who hasn't felt this. Because I've felt this, man, and it's painful. That's a painful and a hard life. To do that every single night, and to do that, you bring on more and more shame upon yourself, more guilt upon yourself. Every single family member that you have, they know about it as well. And you probably have arguments with them when you talk about this. You probably justify to them that, yes, this junk food is my vice. It's the only activity that I do this. That's exactly what I did, you know. You're in a blessed position. I'm telling you. You thinking you're in a very bad position? I'm telling you, you're in the best position right now. Because right now, you can make the biggest comeback of your life. All the people who threw all of those subtle insults at you. Oh, look at your belly. Oh, look, your body looks like a woman. You have women's breasts. Look, you're young and you have a belly. All those insults from all those pieces of shit people. You could make such a big comeback in your life and prove all those people wrong. And the beautiful thing about this is, once you start doing this, and you start enjoying this, and you start making this a lifestyle, and you start following your own plan that's the most sustainable for yourself, where you're the most consistent, where you take your own lead, where you coach yourself, instead of following another guy's plan on Instagram. I'm not trying to curse these people, okay? That's why I'm speaking so low inside of this video. That's why there's so many gaps inside of my speech, because I don't want to curse. I hate that. God's listening, you know. But what's so beautiful is that once you become consistent, you're going to realize that it's never about revenge. It was never about revenge. It was all about just making this a lifestyle for yourself. It was all about impressing yourself. It was all about improving yourself. You know that feeling of just getting revenge on another person? That's a small feeling it fades away. You know, you're gonna feel it once. You're gonna be happy for 5 minutes. 2 weeks later, you're gonna think about it again. You're gonna be happy again whilst you're showering or something. But it's gonna fade away. The memory's gone. The moment's gone. You get desensitized to it, you know. Starting this journey to impress people and to get looks on the beach for your transformation, for your physique, is a wrong thing to do. But if it makes you take the first step, then it makes you take the first step, man. You know? I can't really tell you what to do. This video is not going to be about how you should cure your binge eating, how you should do the steps, how you should make the diet plan, exactly what to eat. Because it's not about that. It's about the void that you're trying to fill here. It's about that. It's deeper than that. People say it's not that deep. That shit is deep. I've seen people who say it's not that deep, literally binge eat. You know? It's deep because you're avoiding confronting that sadness that you have in your life. I don't know what's going on in your life. Maybe someone passed away. Maybe someone didn't pass away. Maybe you just feel shit about yourself. Maybe you feel unimportant. You know, there's a lot of experiences that drive people to just binge eat and fill themselves up with food, either that or to starve themselves. You clicked on this video because you're binging and you probably hate yourself for it. I'm telling you, hatred brings you nowhere. Hating yourself, being extreme about this, and all of this negative energy that you cater to in order to motivate yourself to take action, it won't bring you anywhere because it's not infinite. You know, you can't do it every single day. There's only a finite amount of motivation that you're going to have. Probably for the first 2 weeks, and then you're going to probably lose track of it. You make the plan for yourself. This is the actionable step, my friend. If you want to take the first step, you make the plan for yourself. You don't listen to me. You don't listen to anyone on the internet. You don't go on Instagram and search about, how to get this physique or whatever. You don't think about those things. You don't think about the results. You just start taking action. And it doesn't matter the amount of action. If you just start with an imperfect plan, you just jump into the void. Because that's the move that you're very scared to do right now, my friend. You're scared to jump. It's like looking at a cold shower and just standing before it and just overthinking like, oh, should I go in, should I not go in? But once you dive in, you realize it was not as hard as you thought it was. And one very big mistake that I did was that I went extreme. And it was very symbolic of how I was doing other things as well. You know, a fat man's personality is congruent with almost everything. He wants things fast. He wants pleasure fast from food. He wants progress fast from exercise. It's easy to want it fast. It's hard to want it slow and to make this a lifestyle. Why? It's because you have to keep off the weight. You can't just get this in the next 3 months. You have to lower your expectations, but up your standards of action taking, you know? And that doesn't mean go extreme. That means start with a sustainable plan that's for yourself. Created yourself. You know, start with something that you can do every single day. Something that puts you in this flow, you know, throughout the entire day. Where it just flows and the entire day just like goes away. If you're probably thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? Let me explain, okay? If you follow a plan that's hard and the challenge is high, you know, and your skill level is low, you're going to get scared. And if you're scared to show up every single day, you're not going to show up. But at the same time, if you follow a plan that the challenge is low and your skill level is high, right? You're going to get bored. So you have to follow a plan where your skill level and the challenge match. And that's where the flow comes in. Where every day just goes by like this and you're hitting your steps. You're being in a calorie deficit. You have the optimized sleep routine. You don't binge eat anymore. You've curated the plan, and it's going to take a lot of failures. It's going to take a lot of experimentation. This isn't going to be easy. But the decision that you have to make is, what do you want to feel more? At the end of the day, in 1 year from now, no matter what weight you are, in 1 year from now, do you want to either have a leaner physique and actually look at your face that's more chiseled and look at your body that looks so much more better and you've inspired your family members to also go on a weight loss journey, and you've helped yourself and you help the people around you, and you're an inspiration to the children inside of your family? Or do you want to be the guy that's still binge eating every single day, every single night? Who do you want to be? Pick and choose, my friend. Pick and choose. Because it's easy to say I want to show up every single day, but it's hard to do. I would be lying to you if I was saying if this is going to be easy. Nothing's easy, man. Nothing in life is easy. Everything is hard. There's so many people on the internet that are going to tell you this is going to be easy. You know? They're going to tell you, oh, my clients, you know, they don't even have to do any cardio. And then you buy their program and you see all you have to do, like an hour of steps every single day. Wow. Oh, but cardio isn't steps isn't cardio. It's cardio, my friend. That's cardio. That's steady state cardio. I'm so pissed off at the fitness community because so many people are failing because of all of these unrealistic expectations of these bullshit plans that everyone gives you. All they want is just views, man. All they want is views. They don't want to help nobody. That's why they're giving you the plan. What plan has helped you, my friend? What plan has helped you? You've tried so many plans. You know, you're still overweight. Let's be real here. It's not about the plan. Those plans will not work for you. Because those people don't understand your life circumstance. Only you understand your life circumstance. Only you understand your routine the best. You have a work time, you know, you have this thing here, you have this thing there. If you just try for a month or two and you follow the sustainable approach, you train yourself to not think about the results constantly and think about just taking action every single day and curate a plan for yourself that's sustainable for you, where you enter that flow, it's going to be amazing. You're going to get obsessed, man. This is what I would have told myself. The version of me who was like a year ago, he was just following all these extreme paths and he was thinking that he was a special person. No one is special, man. No one is special. Calorie deficit works for everyone. I don't have to tell you that you have to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose fat. You already know that. All the information is already out there. You have access to AI. You can create any plan that you want. You have all the help that you want. But it's not about those things. It's about the thing that's in here. Can you coach yourself to show up every single day? Can you stick to the plan? That is the real question. Can you stick to the plan? Because you can make a plan. So, like the challenge, you can literally match the challenge level to your skill level. Literally. And you know the plan. You have it in the back of your head. You already know about it. But you aren't following it. Because your ego is getting in the way. And my ego was getting in the way a lot. I was thinking like, oh, this plan, you know, they're telling me I can do this in 6 months. No, I am me. I'm going to do this in 2 months. It has been 18 months since that closet room story. 18 months. It took me 18 months to lose 18 pounds. And I've only lost 18 pounds in the last 3 months of following a sustainable plan. Because back then, I was going from 183 to 165, back to 180, back to 164. You know, it was just like this for 18 months straight. Sorry, like 15 months. Yeah, 15 months straight. Pisses me off, man. Pisses me off. But we are blessed. We're blessed. We can make the transformation. We can have the before and after. You know, you can do your little flex. I can flex on other people when I have the six pack, whatever. But it's not about that, you know. Those are insecure things to do. Now that I realize it, those are insecure things to do. I'm grateful that I had this binge eating thing. I'm truly grateful. I learned, you know. I learned from it. And I still like, if I look at food enough, I would still want to binge eat. You know, I'm not cured from binge eating. You never get cured. You just find a sustainable approach for yourself that works best for you. And you keep on doing that. There's no end to this. That's the thing, there's no end to this. And that's a good thing. You probably think it's a bad thing because you have a fat guy's personality right now, a fat guy's mindset where you constantly think I want it fast, you know. But once you get that lifestyle where you're constantly showing up every single day, you're going to realize how much it's going to actually fulfill you in the long run. It's going to fulfill you so much more. Because that void that you're trying to fill up with food doesn't actually get filled up through pleasure. It gets filled up through pain. By giving yourself pain. If you love yourself, you're going to give yourself pain. Small doses of it. Going to the gym, doing the steps, being a calorie deficit, you know. Those are the acts of someone who loves themselves. The person who hates themselves, tries to destroy themselves with food. You don't love yourself if you're binge eating every single day. And that's the truth. That's something you should accept. You should say, okay, yes, I'm in the wrong here, you know. I'm probably letting my ego control everything. I'm thinking I'm better than other people. Because why I'm telling you this is because I see so many people that are overweight, that are obese, that I see come to the gym. I'm literally walking next to them on the treadmill. I am walking. There's no incline. By the way, I have not done any incline. I just walk. Normal, 3-mile pace, whatever. Very slow. And I get my 10k steps, 8k steps almost every single day. And I see these people that are running next to me. They're literally running. They're running. They're sprinting, sweating. And they wonder why they can't lose the fat. You're making yourself hungry. You're literally making yourself hungry. It pisses me off so much when I see these people, man. There's nothing wrong with an athlete who's running, with a fighter who's running. I don't know, yeah, maybe if you're Daniel Cormier, you're probably, you can run and stuff like that, you're a UFC fighter. But I see these people who are literally overweight, and I look at them and I understand. I know immediately they want to lose weight. They're here in the gym to lose weight, and they think cardio is gonna get them there. No, it's not the cardio. That's almost like 5%. There's even less than 5%. Exercise. I don't remember how much walking was, but I think your natural metabolic rate is like 70% or something like that. Just by existing, just by being in a calorie deficit, you do 70% of the job already. I think it was like, yeah, your metabolic rate, that burns 70% of the calories. I may be wrong. I don't know. There might be some nerd who corrects me in the comments. If anybody watches this video, by the way, I don't know. I make these videos to just like put my thoughts into this, to just help out a single person who I'm thinking of, which was my old self. And it's literally, sun is down, man, literally. Sun is down, freezing cold. That song. I think I should probably get going now. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it. If you're struggling with anything like binge eating, man, I'm telling you, bro, like, you can either fix it yourself or you can just even, like, message me on Instagram or whatever, bro. I'm on this journey as well. Like, you can take a look at my Instagram. I'm just documenting my journey to, like, 10% body fat. If you, I don't know, like, want to join me in or some group or whatever, like, you can just send me a message, bro. Community is everything when it comes to, like, doing stuff. Like, doing stuff together is so much better. A lot of people are not going to do it. That's why they don't get the results, but yeah, just doing this all alone, all by yourself is just a very wrong move. I've been at it for like 1.5 years, so that's why I've gotten like the results that I've gotten in the last 3 months. I've literally been in this state for so much time. I've made so much mistake. I've learned so much, but I'm out here just like documenting my thing out here, bro. It's nothing more than that. So yeah, peace be upon you, man. See you in the next video. I don't know if you can even see me. Peace. I talk too much.